What's going on, guys? Danny Mangan here, back for another video. In this video I will be speaking about the Brandon Harding vs TM Cycles battle at the PCA BodyPower, which is gone. If you're new to the channel, I also compete. I'm also going to talk to you about the truth of competing and the difficulties that come along the way, because after BodyPower I'm seeing all these YouTubers and Instagram people talking about competing, and to me there's a couple things that they're not too, they're not too aware of. So in this video I'm going to go through, what federations there are, what you can compete in, if it's tested, if it's not tested, the side effects of competing, the downfalls of competing, all that sort of stuff. So guys, please, before we get into the video, please like and subscribe. It'd be great if we could get 50 thumbs up on this video. So please do drop the video a thumbs up, it helps me massively. Subscribe if you're new. Let's get into the chit chat. Alright, so BodyPower PCA. Flipping heck, right? I went there at, first of all, they were 2 hours late for the show, which is normal at a bodybuilding show. They always run around 2 hours to 3 hours late. Get there. Physique class 1 million finishes. Bloody hell, there were so many men's physique classes at BodyPower. It's just stupid amounts of physique. Anyway, get to classic bodybuilding. Crowd goes nuts. Crazy. It's like every single person in the stadium, what am I talking about? Every single person at the PCA stage was purely there to see Brandon and TM Cycles beat each other up, like battle it out on stage. It was absolutely nuts. So the vibe was cracking. It was absolutely crazy. I was actually sitting one row in front of Brandon's family. They were literally here, which was cool because I got, it was really cool, but at the same time it just made the experience like 100 times more tense, because they were like going crazy and they were just sitting there like any supportive family would. They were just like this for literally like the whole thing. They kept asking me and my friends who we were there to watch, and that's when we said to them we were there to see Brandon and TMC battle out on stage. So guys, I'm sure you know the news already. Brandon Harding took first place. He looks absolutely phenomenal. So shout out to Brandon Harding, dude. You looked absolutely crazy. TM Cycles, I'm not sure where you came, but you looked insane. TM's posing was crazy. His posing routine blew my freaking mind. In terms of classic, that guy sure is classic, man. Trust me, his front double vacuum was scary. Scary in a good way. The way that guy poses is phenomenal. He's so elegant and so, what's the word? Classic, let's say, in his poses. I think if you guys were at BodyPower or you've seen the footage of TMC posing, I think you will agree, as far as posing goes, that guy absolutely slammed it. I think TM Cycles has said he needs more leg tissue, which, to be honest, I think is a common thing on that stage. I don't think he was the only one lacking legs. I think through that stage, a lot of the competitors also, in my opinion, were lacking legs. But TMC, man, you didn't come first, but you looked awesome, and in my opinion, you had the best posing routine. So, big up to you. Now, after seeing Brandon's like emotional breakdown video like a week beforehand, where he ended up binging on drugs and then binging on food and then like taking loads of drugs, I feel like he always deserved to win this show, of course, but like it's nice to see him get that reward after such a shit time. And then the week before that, or 2 weeks before that in Exeter, we all know he should have won that show. I'm not even going to go into that. I'm not even going to post photos or nothing because I'll get in trouble, but we all know Brandon should have definitely won that PCA Exeter show. There was no doubt in my mind. So I'm really happy that Brandon took first here. I think it was exactly what he needed. He looked, in my opinion, he wiped everyone out. Okay, on stage he stuck out like a sore thumb. He had the best tan on stage. His posing was great. His front double bicep vacuum, which he does with like a side twist, is scary. Every time he hit that, I was thinking, all you boys just better turn around and go home, because that is game over. Back double bicep again, what a Brandon shot. What was crazy is like, there was one part in the video where, one part on stage where Brandon, before they do the back double biceps, he goes like this, and it's like, everyone just went crazy. Like, you could tell everyone was there to see Brandon and TMC, and especially Brandon with like 370,000 subscribers. A lot of the people who were in that little area there were supporting him, which I think is really cool. But at the same time, it must have been hard to be some of the other competitors, knowing you're up against such a big, role model. For example, some of those personalities on stage don't have YouTube or YouTube channels with 400,000 subscribers, never mind 1,000 subscribers. So it must have been pretty daunting for you guys who got up on stage against Brandon and you don't have that popularity. So I do feel for you guys. I'm sure you guys had your friends there. So you know, big up to you guys that did go on stage and did battle it out as well. You all look sick. To be honest, all the physiques on stage did look pretty good, but Brandon did stick out. I'm very surprised TMC, I don't think he came inside the top 6. I'm very surprised about that. I think his posing was enough to get him in the top 4 at least, top 5. His posing was phenomenal, so I'm very, very surprised about that. The guy who came second also came second to Brandon, came second. The last showing that Brandon done, Brandon came second, this guy came third. In the BodyPower video, or BodyPower Expo PCA, Brandon came first, and the guy that came third at the Exeter show came second, which is great. So I hopefully see them guys battle again in the future. But yeah, watching those guys battle it out on stage was definitely my highlight of BodyPower. Like I said in my BodyPower video, that's actually why I went there. If you guys haven't seen that, I will put a link in the description. Please go check it out after you've watched this video. But that video, that experience watching Brandon take first after such a long wounding prep is such a nice experience and something great to be a part of. So it's just lovely to see that, you know, you see this guy struggling, coming second at a show he shouldn't have come second at, you know, going through that stage where he binged on his diet and then thought it would be acceptable to smash all the drugs in him. You know, he's obviously suffering. There's going to be loads of mental effects in that, you know, am I good enough, what's going on, insecurities. So now seeing him come first at BodyPower, which is a massive, massive show, it's absolutely great to see. I think, you know, that's very, very positive for people who haven't placed at shows or who are going through hardships or who, you know, just can't seem to get that first place. And just to see Brandon go from that struggle to that win is very, very inspiring, very motivational, and very good to see.
PCA, Mr. Body, men's class, athlete number 139, Brandon. So we have a final pose from the category top 3.
So that wraps up that part of the video. Brandon, you look awesome. TMC, you looked awesome. Would I want to see you battle again? Hell yeah. Maybe I'll stand in the middle of you both. Let's see. Let's see. But yeah, that was a great experience watching Brandon win. It was lovely seeing Tom's posing because it was ridiculous. I think Tom will be doing damage the next time he gets back on stage. I think he's taking an off season now, he said in his video. So I think TM Cycles will be one to watch in the future. I think he will be one to watch for real, and I can't wait to see what he can do in the off season and then bring to the stage in the potential future, although I don't know when that's going to be. Okay, so to the more interesting part of this video. After BodyPower, I was scrolling through Instagram, scrolling through YouTube, scrolling through like Facebook even, and seeing people talking about competing and they've never competed before, so it'd be their first show, right? Okay, so the truth about competing. First of all, and this is what I say to everyone, before you even criticize your physique, before you even ask yourself, are you ready to compete in terms of your shape, your proportion, your symmetry, the amount of muscle you have, you need to ask yourself, are you ready mentally? Because that's where it comes in. Prep's all about a mental battle. It's not necessarily how much muscle you're carrying. It's about how heavy and how hard you're willing to go. You know, it's about the mental battle, the mental strength that you guys have in your head. That's what's going to get you through prep. It's not how much muscle you can have. You can have the best physique in the world, but the worst mental state, and go into a prep, and then you won't make it through the other side. So before anyone starts a prep, I heavily suggest asking yourself, have you got what it takes to complete a prep? Have you dieted for more than 12 weeks before? Are you willing to sacrifice social time with friends and potentially jeopardize relationships with girlfriends or boyfriends? You know, are you willing to be more selfish in terms of your sleep? You have to get early nights because you start feeling tired. You need to make the most of your sleep. Are you willing to do faster cardio at whatever time in the morning? Are you willing to go to, you know, the gym to finish your training? Are you willing to eat out of Tupperwares for your whole life? You know what I mean? So there's a lot of things that people, I don't feel, understand or are very unaware of prep. That I just want to talk about in this video, because it's all great. You see people on stage, you see them get the trophy, you see them get the branding Harding response, and that's it. you don't see the 6 months of suffering that those guys, including myself, have had to go through in order to get on stage. So, you know, there's so many unspoken about things, and I want to speak about them. So, first things first, mental state. Guys, you have to be rock hard in your head to do this, okay? Competing is not for people with weak minds. I say that very loud and clear. Competing is not for the weak-minded, okay? You have to be willing to do whatever it takes, and I mean whatever it takes to get into the best shape of your life. You can't complain, you can't eat off, you can't eat off your meal plan. I dieted for my last show for 6 months. I didn't have a meal off plan once, unless my coach told me to do that. And then of course I'd done it because I listened and trusted the process. You know, it's very easy. If you've got eating disorders or eating problems, then you might want to address those sort of situations first, because if you're going on prep and you are dieting hard and you've got eating problems and you suddenly feel hungry and you go straight to the cereal cupboard and start binging out granola, it's going to ruin your prep, it's going to ruin your diet, it's going to put you back. So if you've got any underlying issues you need to address first, I heavily recommend you address those first, you get your head right, and then you jump in. Otherwise, you will not finish the prep. You will put yourself probably in a worse position with your mental state, and you will potentially, you know, just damage your relationship with yourself, with food, with training, with the gym, with everything. So before jumping into a prep, before going for it, please guys and girls, just ask yourself, are you mentally ready to do this? Secondly, you need to ask yourself, do you have what it takes to diet for 5 to 6 months without cheating on your diet? Do you have what it takes to wake up and do cardio whenever your coach says do cardio? Do you have what it takes to potentially take steroids if you're doing untested shows and your coach wants you to take X, Y, Z? Are you willing to do whatever your coach says? Are you willing to do whatever it takes there? Do you know what I mean? Are you willing to go to the gym at whatever time? I was going to the gym 3 times a day sometimes, cardio training and then cardio, because I was willing to do whatever it took from get to A to Z. You have to have that mindset of whatever it takes. I know it's Rich Piana's thing, but literally, it is whatever it takes. Okay, so we've decided that you're ready to go mentally. We've decided that you're willing to do whatever it takes. We've decided that you can adhere to a diet plan for more than 12 weeks, and you're willing to train and do cardio whenever your coach says so. So then we need to break down, what's your current life situation? Are you in a relationship? Are you working? What's your job? How active are you? How many meals can you fit in a day? Are you allowed to eat on your job? Because this all plays a massive factor, guys. You know, it's easy for people who are PTs and they can put their food in around their day because of their flexibility in the day. Like myself, I can eat whenever I want. But someone that's working at an office job who has meetings all day can't eat 6 meals a day whenever they want because of their lifestyle. So it makes it a lot more difficult for them to go on prep, to do a show. I'm not saying it's impossible, but it makes it a lot harder for them, which it might mean too much stress for them to actually go on prep, if you know what I mean. You know, you need to have a look around in your life and see if you've got a relationship. Are you willing, and I'm being really honest now, are you willing to risk that relationship for prep? Are you willing to risk your relationship with your boyfriend or your girlfriend for 16 to 20 weeks for your prep to win a trophy? Okay, because that's prep. Believe me, I've been in relationships when I've been on prep, and it does jeopardize your relationship. It really does, because you have to be selfish. You can't eat out. You can't go on date night. You want to go to sleep. When it comes to the last 5 to 6 weeks, 4 weeks out, you're absolutely shattered. You don't want to go anywhere because you're knackered. You spend all your time in the gym. Your girlfriend moans at you because you haven't seen her the whole day and you've just spent all your time in the gym and you don't care and all this stuff, but when really you're just trying to achieve your goal, and then it just becomes a matter of arguments all the time. So guys, just think seriously about this, okay? If your boyfriend or a girlfriend, are you willing to jeopardize the relationship to be on prep, to go on stage? Fortunately, I know there's some girls and boys who actually do support their other halves in that sense, and they're willing to put up with prep, but it is very hard for couples who don't necessarily understand. I know a lot of people who are in relationships, and I'd like to say that some of them, if one went on prep, they really wouldn't be able to handle it, because it's just a nightmare. You can't go on date night. Basically, anything a normal couple do, you can't do, okay? So you can't eat off plan, okay? So therefore you can't go out for food. You can't. If you're on a diet plan and your coach has set your diet plan and you've got to eat those meals, you know you can't go out for food. If it fits your macros, which I personally wouldn't be doing on prep, for other reasons, because it breaks structure, and I like structure, hence why I have a diet plan. Anyway, if you're doing it if it fits your macros and you want to risk it and you want to go do that, then be my guest, do it, but it's not going to bring great results. On prep, what federation will you compete in? Are you natural? Are you not natural? Do you want to do a natural show, or if you're natural, do you want to do an untested show? Well, guess what, guys? I'm being honest now. If you're going to do an untested show, you have to remember that everyone, most of the people will be on steroids. That's how bodybuilding works. So just keep that in mind, guys. If you're natural and you want to do an untested show like PCA or UKBFF or Two Bros, you have to remember those shows aren't tested. So the majority of your competition will be on steroids. That's the bottom line. If you are natural, I would recommend doing a natural show. Why? Because it's a natural show. You're going to be on the level playing field of everyone else on stage. Okay, and by a natural doing an unnatural show, unless they're very genetically gifted, their confidence is going to get battered. If they're going to try and win an unnatural show, they realise that the unnatural people are holding a lot more muscle than them, they're a lot better conditioning than them. Then when they walk on stage, they realise that they're in the wrong place at the wrong time. They're going to feel very uncomfortable on stage, they're going to feel very out of place on stage, and they are going to hate that experience, because that's just how it goes. And the last thing you want is to hate the experience. So rather than putting yourself at risk, come over to the natty side of things, compete naturally. There's nothing wrong with that. Compete naturally against people that are natural, everyone's on the same playing field. There's no steroids in natural shows that I believe. UKBFTA, I think, test. I can't remember the name of the federations, but I'm very, very sure they're all tests. So you just have to consider that, guys. If you're, just pick your federation very carefully. If you're going to do PCA, it's not tested, guys. They are on steroids. So if you're natural and you want to do an untested show, just understand they have an advantage over you, unless you're willing to then jump on the gear. But then even then, they probably still have an advantage over you because they've been doing gear for ages, because they've always understood that they wanted to do untested shows. So even then, I'd say it's better just going for the natural shows where you're on a playing field. It's going to be less damaging to your confidence, less damaging to your mental health. You're going to have a great time on stage with other naturals. So keep that in mind. Another thing I'd recommend before going on stage or even starting a competition prep is get yourself a good coach, guys. Really, really look into it. Find yourself someone who you trust. Find yourself someone who you look up to, and that's someone that can pull you through competition prep. Because trust me right now, guys, you go crazy. Prep mind is a real thing. Prep brain is a real thing. Trust me, you will feel crap. You will look in the mirror and think you're not going to be ready. You will look at your check-in photos at some point and be like, I'm shit, I need more of this. Someone's going to have more of this. Someone's going to have more of this. And you just need a coach there to look over and be like, you're okay, you're on track, don't worry, trust me, you're going to be fine. Just to keep your head on your shoulders rather than you losing the plot. Another thing of having a coach is, guys, when obviously we see ourselves every day, right? We wake up, we see ourselves. We go to bed, we see ourselves. We go to the toilet, we see ourselves. Our coach will only see us like once a week via check-in. So they're able to see the smaller changes a lot better than we can. So when we're looking at ourselves thinking we're not going to be ready and we haven't changed all week, our coach can compare the comparison photos of the week prior to the check-in photos you've just sent, and they can see the changes. They can also implement changes to your diet and your training, which takes away the stress of you doing it yourself. Okay? This is my biggest thing, all right? And it's competing for the right reasons. If you're competing to get Instagram followers and Instagram likes and become someone, build your Instagram presence, then I heavily recommend not doing a competition prep. For the sole reason of you will not make it through the prep. You just won't. It's as simple as that, you won't. Because I know how hard this gets. I know how hard prep gets. And you have to be obsessed and absolutely in love with bodybuilding to get through prep. You won't get through prep, if you're thinking about new followers. You just won't. It's just not going to happen, because you will want to die, when you're dieting hard and you've run out of food and you're in bed trying to sleep and you can't sleep. You have to love this shit. You have to be obsessed with this shit. Trust me, the crave for new Instagram followers is not going to cover that. What's going to get you through that hard stage is your heart and how much you want to win the show. How much you want to get on stage in the best condition possible. How much you love bodybuilding. How much you love men's physique. How much you love bikini. Whatever that drive is that comes from inside, that's going to get you through the hard moments of prep. It's not going to get you through wanting new Instagram followers. Now, of course, if you compete, it's very good for socials. It's very, very good for socials. You get new content, you look great, you're shredded, you got a tan. all of that's great, but the sole reason of competition it should not be for social media. It should be because you love bodybuilding and you love getting shredded and you love the journey, you love the suffering, you love the process. It should be because of that. The Instagram and the YouTube popularity, that should be a bonus, okay? Another thing you need to understand, guys, is Brandon, if a lot of you are kind of trying to replicate the feeling that Brandon got of winning in the crowd, you guys aren't Brandon Harding, bro. You ain't got, what is it, 370,000 subscribers. You haven't got that. Do you know what I mean? So don't think you're going to turn up to a PCA show and have 400 people going nuts for you, because in reality you're not. It's just not going to work. You're going to have your girlfriend, your mum and your dad, and that's it. That's it. And maybe some Instagram followers. That's it. Do you know what I mean? So get that illusion like out of your mind. You're not going to have that. Let's be real, okay? So don't think you're going to turn up to a show, diet for 6 months, turn up to a show, get a standing ovation, some crazy reaction from the crowd, win first place, and then go to the BPI booth and meet everyone. Or any booth and meet everyone. It's not going to happen, guys. You're going to have your mum, your dad, your brother, and your girlfriend, who's just about still your girlfriend, you know, in the crowd shouting your number. Okay, guys? So please don't expect that, because a lot of people will be like, they see the feeling that Brandon's got, they see that, you know, the crowd response that Brandon's got, and now they're suddenly trying to chase that. Don't chase that, guys, because it's not reality. That's what. But yeah, guys, that is my advice and recommendations to people who are stepping on stage for the first time or are thinking about starting a prep. I hope you enjoyed the video. That's just my opinion. No one get butthurt. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Please like, comment, and subscribe. I'll see you guys this week for more vlogs. Peace.